Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the history behind Gyoubu Oniwa, who needs no introduction, except this one.
My name is Gyoubu Masataka Oniwa! As I breathe, you will not pass the castle gate! Gyoubu the demon.
Gyoubu Oniwa is one of the first ever bosses that you fight in Sekiro, well, real boss, as well as him being the main defense for the Ashina. Before we talk about who is Gyoubu Oniwa in history, we must first learn more about him and his character from the lore of Sekiro. Now let's take a look at Gyoubu's memory, who will tell us a little bit more about him, besides him screaming at us on the battlefield.
My name is Gyoubu Masataka Oniwa!
Gyoubu Oniwa once led a group of infamous bandits, but was defeated by Isshin, who was so captivated by his show of strength that he took him in as an Ashina warrior. Oniwa would later go on to become Genichiro Ashina's most trusted retainer. We do know from some of Gyoubu's dialogue that he was here when the Ashina took their land back from the Interior Ministry.
Boy! Allow me to show you the wrath of a man who stood with the Ashina when they took this country!
Now let's take a look at Gyoubu's broken horn. The horn contracts to pull enemies in, also capable of stripping crude armor. When the horn was broken during the rebellion, Isshin praised it for its splendid shape, awarding it to Oniwa with the cross-bladed spear of Shuzen Tamarot. If you don't know who Tamarot is, he is the general that you see fall to Isshin in the opening cinematic of Sekiro.
General Tamarot is no more!
You get to see Isshin killing him and opening him up like a giant sauce packet. Before we start jumping into the history now, a short disclaimer. I am not a historian, I am just simply passionate about samurai history, so I do get things wrong from time to time. So please tell me if I missed anything or got anything wrong in the comments down below. With that out of the way, let's move on to the history. Gyoubu Oniwa is part of the 7 Spears of Ashina, basically that one guy at the start of the game that keeps beating you. Now, the 7 Spears of Ashina were pivotal in Isshin's coup, but only a few remain. By the way, you should go watch my video on the 7 Spears of Ashina. The 7 Spears of Ashina is a historical rank. Now, the actual title of it is the 7 Spears of Chitugate, were mounted bodyguards for Hideyoshi at the Battle of Chitugate in 1583. At a decisive moment in the battle, Hideyoshi ordered them to leave their position and charge the opposing enemy. After Hideyoshi gained control of Japan, many of the members were promoted to daimyo. In the game, there's a 7 Spears of Ashina that shares the same surname as Gyoubu Oniwa, possibly being a brother or a cousin, maybe even a family member of some sort. Gyoubu Masataka Oniwa and Gyoubu Oniwa may be related to a samurai clan named Oniwa clan. Now taking a look at the first person I believe Gyoubu Oniwa could be in history. Oniwa Tsutomoto was a Japanese samurai of the late Sengoku period through the early Edo period. Tsutomoto was known as one of the 3 great men of the Date clan. Tsutomoto served the Date clan by the end of his life. He was the only Date retainer who was both older than and outlived Date Masanune. Tsutomoto succeeded to the family headship following the death of his father. He also fought at the Battle of this place, I can't name to save my life, in 1589. He also had a part to play to suppress the Kunohei Rebellion in 1591, and he also joined in the Korean campaign in 1592. Tsutomoto was deeply trusted by Masanune. He was made a social retainer at the young age of 35. After the Bunryuku campaign, Hideyoshi suspected Masamune of treason. It was Tsutomoto who pleaded on his lord's behalf. Tsutomoto did change his name after some time. Hideyoshi was suspicious of the name Oniwa because of its meaning, the Garden of Demon. After spending several years as an attendant for Masamune's son, he retired from the Date clan and became a Buddhist monk. The reason why this could be Gyoubu Oniwa in history is because they're very similar surnames, being Oniwa and Oniniwa, as well as their name choices. Oniniwa meaning the Garden of the Demon, and Gyoubu Oniwa being called Gyoubu the Demon. Now moving on to our second person who Gyoubu Oniwa could be in history. Otani Yoshitsugu was a Japanese samurai of the Sengoku period through the Suzuki period. He was also known by his current title Junior Assistant Minister of Justice, or Gyoubu Shoyu. He was born in 1585 to a father who was said to be a retainer of either Otomo Sorin or Rakata Yoshikata. He became one of Toyotomi Hideyoshi's followers. He joined in Hideyoshi's Owada campaign as well as the Korean campaign. Otani Shitsugu is well known in Japan for two main aspects, his leprosy and his friendship with Ishina Mitsunari. What is known for sure about Yoshitsugu's service was that he was named Gyoubu Shoyu, a minister of justice, in 1585. By then, Yoshitsugu was said to have been accepted as one of the elites within Hideyoshi's inner circle. Otani Yoshitsugu died at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. Yoshitsugu had placed a division to deal with a flank attack. However, they were engaged at the time the buffer began to crumple and more of the Western Army commanders joined on the attack on their allies. Seeing the futility of the situation, Yoshitsugu, nearly blind and badly disabled due to leprosy, ordered a retainer to cut off his head. Yarasagoru did as his master commanded, and then hid the head to stop it from being taken as a trophy. Then he committed seppuku. In the end, the head would never be found. The reason why I believe these two warriors are very similar is due to their rank and title, as well as their distaste for the Takagawa clan. In another video of mine, I've established that the Interior Ministry are either the Takagawa or a retainer of Takagawa, like Naomasa. Now moving on to the third person I believe Gyoubu Oniwa could be a reference to in history. Nakamura Chobei was a bandit peasant during the 16th century, the Azuki period in Japan. He was the leader of a gang of bandits that were stationed at a minor village called Ogurisu, which was near the Battle of Yamazaki in 1582. Nakamura is alleged to have killed the general Akachi Mitsuhide, according to this account. After Mitsuhide was defeated at Yamazaki, he was passing through the village. While he was riding through, he was passed by Chobei. He was hiding in the bamboo grove. Chobei killed Mitsuhide by throwing his spear into him. This took place less than a month after Mitsuhide had arranged for the death of famous Oda Nobunaga. This historical figure, being a peasant leader of a bandit group, was very similar to Gyoubu Oniwa being a bandit chief. Now taking a look at Gyoubu Oniwa's weapon, being the Kama-yari. The Kama-yari is a sickled spear, is essentially a yari with a horizontal Kama blade at the base of the vertical blade to assist in grabbing an opponent. Generally, the transverse blade or hook is large enough to hold the neck, head or jaw, or to grapple with a person's limbs. The weapon was also famously used by one of the 7 spears of Shitugitake members, Kato Kiramasa. In 1582 he fought in Hideyoshi's army at the Battle of Yamazaki, and later in 1583 at the Battle of Shitugitake. Owning this achievement in that battle, he became known as the 7 Spears of Shitugitake. In 1584, Kiramasa took part in the Battle of Kamaka and Nagaku against the Takagawa clan. Kiramasa was one of the 3 senior commanders during the 7-year Injin War in 1592 to 1598 against Korea. Most well known for using his weapon for hunting tigers in Korea. Tiger hunting was a common pastime for Kiramasa during the war. Kiramasa was a renowned castle builder during the Imjin War. He built several strategic Japanese-style castles in territories he captured. Ulsan Castle was one of the such fortresses and the site of Kiyomasu's most famous battle, the Siege of Ulsan. Led the defense of the castle, successfully holding at bay Chinese General Yang Hao's army, which numbered 60,000. Gyoubu Oniwa could be a reference to Kato Kiramasa. They both share the similar title, being the 7 Spears of Ashina and the 7 Spears of Shitugitake. They also use the same weapon. Another interesting detail is that Kiramasa was hunting tigers in Korea, and when we look at Gyoubu Oniwa, he has some type of animal pelt on him, maybe as a trophy, possibly being a wolf pelt. Now taking a look at Gyoubu Oniwa's helmet. The antler ornament most recognized for being used by the samurai named Sanada Yukimura, as well as having a single coin in the middle of the helmet being very similar to the Sanada clan symbol where it has 6 coins. The Roku Minsen, or the 6-coin crest, is the mon of the Sanada family. The Japanese believed that the dead must cross the Senzu River in the underworld. To cross over to the afterlife of the dead would have to pay the total fee of 6 coins. Sanada Yukimura was a Japanese samurai warrior of the Sengoku period. He was known especially as the leading general on the defending side of the siege of Osaka. Yukimura was called a hero who'd only appear in 100 years, the Crimson Demon of War and the last Sengoku hero. I do hope you enjoyed this history video on Gyoubu Oniwa. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. Now I could be wrong, From Software could just be a big fan of the Floating Castle movie.
Onikage, charge! Oh, you're still standing! I'll strike you as many times as it takes! Allow me to show you the wrath of a man who stood with the Ashina when they took this country! You will not take this Gyoubu's head! My name is Gyoubu Masataka Oniwa! As I breathe, you will not pass the castle gate! Still you stand! Sekiro has many burdens, and I consider you one of them! In haste and die, brat!
I do have to apologize for not making a history video sooner. I've been extremely busy. With that out of the way, I'll see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe.